Welcome into the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzy. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie. Loving to have you along for the ride, especially after the Phillies. They're fine. They're just we're better when we're drunk. Whatever the Phillies were drunk since June 2nd. Let me just throwing it out there. Anyway, so they win last night. They come back from a 5-0 deficit. Not too shabby. Bryce Harper homers. Edmundo Sosa homers. Garrett Stubbs, the party boy of the party boys last night, he homers, 3-run home run. We'll go through the whole game. Look forward to doing that because it was a Phillies victory. And we will go through the Tush push, or as it is becoming known now on social media, and as we'll hear in the locker room, the brotherly shove. The brotherly shove. And how one future Hall of Famer is asking questions about it right now. And a guy who has made himself, a guy I like personally, a guy I appreciate. I don't know what the hell he's thinking, man. Chris Sims. What the hell was that, brother? Oh, my God. Like, I understand his point, and I worry about his point, but a little much on how he'd stop the Tush push. So anyway, we'll get into all that, and then there could be a son of Philadelphia returning home. And quite frankly, I think it is necessary to please the basketball gods. I think it is necessary that this man comes back to Philadelphia because there is a huge blockbuster of a Woj bomb of a trade in the NBA that you all know by now. Dame Lillard goes to the Bucks, teams up with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jrue Holiday right now goes to the Portland Trail Blazers. Apparently he's not happy about it. Apparently the Sixers are very much kicking the tires on Jrue Holiday return. I was watching NBA yesterday, and I was watching that Ramona Shelburne, and she's talking about, hey, definitely keep an eye on the 76ers when it comes to a potential Jrue Holiday trade. There is interest there. And then I see locally, Kyle Neubeck puts it out as well, saying that there's interest there with the Sixers and Jrue Holiday. And then Keith Pompey puts it out as well, saying, I'm going to confirm the report that Kyle Neubeck put out there. And then everyone confirms the report. And now, hell yeah. What? Jrue Holiday and Tyrese Maxey? James Harden's gone in the mix. Look, I am all for the development and maturation process of Tyrese Maxey. And I have told you time and time again, that is one of the things I am looking forward to most about this year. In a Harden-less year is Tyrese Maxey coming back and coming up and improving and having a damn near Hertzian leap. And he keeps on taking these leaps in his career. I'm all for another one. The next one's an all-star. I would love to have an all-star guard play along with Joel Embiid. One that is young, one is on the upswing, one that isn't worn out, one that has a bit of problem, one that, in fact, is quite the opposite, seems to have a phenomenal mental makeup. I think Jrue Holiday would be a nice little mix in there with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. So we'll get to the karmatic reasons. I don't know. I don't even know what to say regarding that. And yes, that tush push brotherly shove is under attack, unfortunately. So we'll get to that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia Phillies were down 5-0 last night. Oh, and I know some people reached me or saw me on a postgame last night. I said, I got it right, Neil. I see Neil in the chat here on JAKIB Sports. We prefer brotherly shove, Mark. Tush push is very soft. I agree. I'm not disagreeing. I have acknowledged the brotherly shove. And we'll hear from Coach Sirianni. We'll hear from our head coach as to how he likes the brotherly shove. And he hadn't heard it before he was told it yesterday. I think it was Jimmy Kempski. I don't know. I'll have to go back and I'll listen to it when I play it for you guys. So we'll get into that. We also got the Eagles injury report. We'll get into that as well. But let's start it off with your Philadelphia Phillies. All right. They go down 5-0 last night. First up, Ranger Suarez in the first inning. I'm like, over 3 runs. Randolfo Castro dropped the ball at third base that was thrown in from who the heck was in right field yesterday? Jeez, I can't keep track. It wasn't Marsh. Was it Pache? Was it Pache in right field yesterday? Whoever it was. Randolph Castro dropped the ball, whatever. So three-run score in the first inning. They're like, this isn't great. This isn't ideal. Then the Phillies just keep on trucking along. After that first inning where they're down 3-0, they go into the third inning. Davis gets a 2-run single on a changeup from Ranger Suarez. It's then a 5-0 ball game, unfortunately. And that came with 2 outs, by the way. In that third inning, you got Triolo to strike out on the sinker. You got Reynolds to fly out to center field. Hayes comes up with a single to left center. Joe comes up. He had a 4-hit night. He gets a double to left field. Broken bat just dribbling up there. Stubbs almost picked him off at second base as he rounded second a little too aggressively, but he didn't pick him off, unfortunately. So you got a runner on second and third with 2 outs. Davis delivers a 2-run single on a change-up. Then Swinski goes up there and he grounds out to first base to end the inning. Third inning, bottom of the third inning, that is. Stubbs, Stott, Sosa. Stubbs and Stott go down, and then Sosa gets a 2-out double. Harper comes up and unfortunately strikes out. Had a runner in scoring position. Nothing doing, unfortunately. Then let's go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Marsh leads off with a double. Pache goes up and strikes out. Cave works the walk. Rojas gets hit by a pitch. So you have the bases loaded with 1 out in this situation. 1 out in this situation. Castro grounds into a RBI. He grounds out to the first baseman and gets an RBI. Good for him. Stubbs then comes up after that run scored in a 5-1 ball game. Garrett Stubbs, blue overalls, 1 strap, and taking tequila shots on TV as another man pours a beer down his chest as he does a little shimmy shake. I did it for the postgame people last night. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it again. I think you guys have seen enough. And he goes down there and steps up to the plate, sober as anything, and blasts a 3-run home run to right field, just as if it was scripted. 5-4, Phillies trail only by a run now. Now, unfortunately, Ranger Suarez wasn't able to have a shutdown inning. In the top of the 5th inning, he allows a 1-out single to Joe, and then Swinski comes up there and gets an RBI triple. So now it goes from a 5-4 game to a 6-4 game. And then in the 5th inning, Edmundo Sosa gets his 10th home run of the season. When he hit the home run, I went, what is that, like 7 or 8 for him? It's not a bad year. I'm like, oh, wow, 10? That's 10 home runs for Edmundo Sosa. Good for him. Home run to left field, got a fastball and just demolished it 362 feet to left field. Then Harper goes up there and gets a double. Slow roller just through the infield. And when I saw it get past the third baseman, I thought, he's going to get 2 out of this. And sure enough, he got 2 out of it. Marsh then lines one off Oveda at right off his shin, it looked like, and then gets thrown out at first. Then Pache comes up there, he gets the RBI single that scores Bryce Harper. Cave goes up there and strikes out, unfortunately, but now you got a 6-6 ball game with Pache coming up with the game-tying RBI single in the 5th inning. By the way, in that top of the 5th inning, Ranger Suarez was taken out. Dominguez was brought in and got Peguero to strike out. So that was a good sign as well. Then the Phillies scored in the bottom of the 5th inning to tie the game. Then listen to this. In the 6th inning, they bring Dominguez back. I am not a big fan of bullpen arms, especially recently with the Phillies. Pitching at all, even the one batter, even getting a strikeout, whatever it might be. Sitting down, however many pitches, sitting down, then getting back up and trying to get more outs. But Sir Anthony Dominguez took it like a champ. Got Rodriguez to ground out to second, got Gonzalez to ground out to third. I got to say, I thought it was Sosa. Somebody corrected me in the chat last night. I don't know why I thought it was Sosa, probably just because I've seen Sosa at third base more than anything. Sosa was at short. Randolph Castro, who has automatically become not my favorite Philly. I just think he's terrible. He goes up there and at third base, makes a great charging play, makes a great throw. They end up reviewing it, gets him out. Gets Gonzalez out. They review it, and oh, yeah, he got him out. How dare you, Pittsburgh Pirates. Triolo then gets a walk, and then Reynolds goes up there and strikes out. So Dominguez did a fine job there in the 6th inning. 7th inning, I had asked, I before the game, we'll get into it, actually right during the game. And I told you guys a couple of these yesterday. There was a couple of things I have on my Phillies wish list. And spoiler alert, one of them is this guy. Orion Kirkering. Welcome to the party, pal. You're not a Phillies bullpen pitcher until you put runners on base and then get yourself out of your own jam. Now, first and second isn't the worst possible jam you could be in, but nonetheless, he goes up there and he gets the first out, gets Hayes to ground out the third. throws him 4 sweepers. Then Joe gets his 4th hit of the night. That's on a sweeper. Then he walks Davis. By this point, I think he only threw 2 non-sweepers. I think the rest were sinkers. I think he threw 1 sinker and a slider. Davis then goes up there. Yeah, he walks. So you have 2 runners on. Sawinski then strikes out on a 98-mile-per-hour sinker. And then Peguero goes up there and strikes out on a sinker as well. So Kerkering allows his first base runners, gives up his first hit, allows his first walk, his first free pass, and then he's able to get 2 strikeouts still in the inning to get that little self-made jam. Not too bad. Bottom of the 7th inning, Hernandez is in for the Pirates. There's 2 outs. Bryce Harper steps up, and guess what? In a tie ball game, 6-6, Bryce Harper hits a 427-foot home run to center field, and the Phillies go up 7-6. They handle the business after that. Covey comes on in relief in the 8th inning. He gets Rodriguez a strikeout, Gonzalez a strikeout, Triola gets a single, and then Reynolds lines out to left field. 9th inning, Soto comes in and shuts it down for the save. Phillies get another win. They're 89 wins now. My asks for the final, including last night, 5 games of the season are: number 1, health. I need everyone to be healthy. Number 2, Alec Boehm was out of the lineup last night. Very interesting lineup, as you would assume, from our man Rob Thompson. Bryson Stott leading off. Bryce Harper was in there as well. Brandon Marsh, obviously. Really interesting lineup there for the Phils. Didn't mind it. Didn't mind it a little bit. I'm fine with it. But I need Bryson Stott to get days off. I need Alec Boehm to hit 20 home runs. Like this is my wish list. So health. I need Alec Boehm to hit 20 home runs. He was not in the lineup last night. I'm hoping he's able to do it over the next 4 games. He gets an opportunity to do it. Love to see it for him. I think that'd be a great benchmark for him in his career, especially after his 13 last year. Would love to see Alec Boehm get his 20th home run. After that, I'd love to see Bryson Stott get a break. Last night, it wasn't the case. I know at some point he's going to get a break. I think maybe today he gets a break. It's a 6:05 start time tonight. So a little earlier, maybe he gets the break tonight. I don't know. Maybe he's going to rest him in New York so Phillies fans can still see him here in South Philly. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just coming up with ideas. So I'd like to see Boehm with the home run. I'd like to see Stott get a break. I want to see as much Orion Kerkering as humanly possible. Last night, I saw Todd Zalecki put out the tweet that MLB.com that he's a safe bet to make the postseason roster. After making his major league debut a couple of days ago, all right, with like 7 games, no, not even, like 6 games left in the season, makes his major league debut, does well. Now he's got 2 outings under his belt, and he's a safe bet to make the postseason roster. Hell yeah. I don't know. Like, Sir Anthony Dominguez did fine last night. I don't know if this is all of a sudden a thing where you're going to have a motivated Sir Anthony, a focused Sir Anthony. I don't think that's the job that he's threatening. But maybe it is, because I don't think Sir Anthony Dominguez is going to be left off. He's not going to be, let me say this. He's not going to be left off the postseason roster. Craig Kimbrell's not going to be left off the postseason roster, okay? Dylan Covey might. So here's what I'm looking at. I agree. I think you're going to need him in the bullpen. You're going to need a guy that can go out there and get guys out. And he does have very evasive stuff. And he throws so many sweepers, sweeper after sweeper after sweeper. 23 pitches, I believe it was, in that relief appearance for him. And if I had to really nail it down, I would say about 20 were sweepers. So, man, he doesn't just go up there looking to throw heat. He makes guys think about it. He's like, this was definitely going to be the fastball. Sweeper. This was down, fouled away. So it's very interesting what we see from him. So it looks like we're going to be able to see Orion Kerkering come up in the postseason and make this roster. And it looks like we're going to see a lot of them as the season winds down. Finally, what I want to see last night, or what I want to see, and I put it out on Twitter last night, on X last night, 90 wins. It's not a huge thing. It's one more win in 4 games. We'll go 1-4, right? And the Phillies are doing that. And I feel like it's in hand. but there's just something about looking at that win-loss column or that record that's standing at the end of the year and just going 90-win season seems a little bit more legitimate than 87. And that, of course, is a difference. Not as a bigger difference this year, being that the Phillies are now 6 games into the top wild card spot. Obviously, they've already clinched, so it doesn't really matter all that much. But that's still pretty damn good. As far as the playoffs go, Rob Thompson said yesterday in the dugout that Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola are going to be the 1-2 starters in that order. And then after that, I heard him say on WIP that he is going to basically evaluate. The team's going to evaluate what's going to happen with the 3rd, 4th, 5th starters in the postseason. Suarez did not give you a lot of promise last night, unfortunately. Christopher Sanchez has probably been your most consistent pitcher all year. And Taijuan Walker needs to get himself through a little bit of still, it looks like another dead arm period, which is wild to me, which is absolutely wild to me. But that's where we're at right now when it comes to the Phillies pitching rotation. Michael Lorenzo was in the bullpen again last night. That's where he'll be in the postseason, as we know. And I think that's actually the job that takes away from a guy like Dylan Covey, is the guy that Michael Lorenzo, who can, if you need him to go a couple more innings, 2 innings, 3 innings, whatever, he can do that for you, obviously, because he's stretched out. The question is whether or not he'll be good enough to go that long. If he's able to just force everything into 1 inning, then he might just be even better. But that's where we're at right now with our Philadelphia Phillies. I look forward to seeing how they figure that all out. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, next week, it looks like everything's going to go down all in South Philly. So we'll see how that shakes out for the Phils. Zach Wheeler gets the ball tonight, by the way. 6:05 start time, as I said. Let me tell you guys that I don't know if I've seen – there's things in sports that they're dominant. You can't stop it. For whatever reason, the first thing that comes to mind is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook. Like, I was thinking about the tush push yesterday, the brotherly shove yesterday. I'm going to say both for a while because I want people to know what I'm talking about. And I was thinking about, like, there's been dominant players, but they go cold sometimes. But in terms of like a play that people just can't stop. I was like, okay, Kareem skyhook. Jeez. And then it didn't take long before I devolved into annexation of Puerto Rico, the flying V, just unstoppable plays, man. I think the flying V, they hit the post once. So I guess technically it was stopped. But anyway, the brotherly shove is deadly. It's absolutely deadly. Eagles line up in that formation, you dead. It's pretty much how it goes. There was audio of last year, literally, of Jason Kelce saying, you know what's coming, first down. They literally know what's coming, first down. The Patriots ran the exact same play against the New York Jets on Sunday. And I had my feet up on the sofa. I was watching football on that Sunday. I went, oh, this looks familiar. And they got it. Oh, look at that. Good for you guys. That's adorable. So yesterday it made its rounds around the press conferences, both of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. There's a couple other things that came out of this press conference that are a little bit more, I guess, pertinent. I don't know. But this was the one that I know everybody is talking about across the nation. Here it is. Yesterday, Nick Sirianni talking about, come on, is this it? Yeah. Talking about the quarterback sneak, if you will.
So you guys implemented the Tush push, and I know so much has been made of it. Did you have any?
Is that what we're calling it?
I guess.
Okay.
You
said it.
Brotherly shove. Is that
Brotherly shove.
Can we just go with that?
Whatever comes up first in the search engine.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I do too.
Who came up with that?
I don't know. I found it online. I'd like to take credit, but it ain't me.
Did you guys have any doubts about its legality, or did you have any idea of like?
No, we knew that we knew the rules. Anytime we put a play in that maybe not, that not a lot of people run, we'll definitely, and that there could be anything within the rules. We'll always look into that. So we knew the rules that was completely legal, and it's been a good play for us.
It has been a great play. Been an absolutely great play. I look, the one thing I will say is in the goal line situations where it's like first and goal from the one, when they rarely have that instance, but when they do have that instance, I just want one shot with a running back. Just And it's for this reason that Chris Sims points out. Now, in case you didn't see it, Chris Sims put it out there saying that his way to stop the tush push brotherly shove, he says, if I'm a defensive coordinator, if I'm a defensive coach, I'm going, quote, head hunting on the quarterback here. Go crazy, try to kill the quarterback. That's what I do. I don't mean it like that. Well, I don't mean kill him, but make him pay. Make him think twice about it. I don't disagree with the thought. I disagree with how he illustrated his point. We don't need kill involved in there. And look, I know a lot of people are going, come on, that's football. That's in a day and age where we're like, maybe we should protect these people's skulls. Maybe we should protect these people's heads and brains. You know, in a day and age where we know a little bit more than we knew, some years ago there, it's not exactly what you want to hear. You don't want to see head hunting. You don't want to see kill. You don't want to see any of that stuff. A little aggressive, especially for a guy that has not exactly had the most respect in his little list there for Jalen Hurts. So I definitely took it the way it should be taken, I feel. I know a lot of people look at it and go, that's football, it's football. But yeah, that's great. This is the things we don't need to see in there. And he's a former football player. Like if that was said by, I don't even want to evoke anybody else's name, but if that was ever said by, I'll just use myself, by me, I would look at myself and go, oh, after the show, I'd be like, maybe I shouldn't have used those words. That was bad. What I'm saying is a non-player. If that was said by some non-player talking head, well, then, yeah, that'd be bad. That'd be really bad. But saying by a player is worse because you've been there, man. I saw it. I went, oh, this isn't good. That's not good. I don't understand why everyone is having such a problem with this. And I understand that. I'll say it like this. Is it really that people just can't run it and the Eagles run it so well? J.J. Watt, future Hall of Famer, had this to say about it. Lots of talk about the tush push. Ridiculous name, by the way. This is on social media. Unpopular opinion. If they weren't allowed to push from behind, the Eagles would still just be as successful at quarterback sneaks. Yeah, because Jalen Hurts pretty damn good. Yes, it helps, but the push isn't the reason it's successful. The O-line and Jalen are. Totally agree with you on that, J.J. Watt. And yes, I did do my due diligence, and I responded to this tweet, this post, and I said it's becoming known as the brotherly shove. I saw it on Barstool. I know they were trying to figure it out where it came from, but I did respond to it. And then I saw the Eagles quoted his tweet and said the same thing. We're calling it the brotherly shove now. Whatever you call it, I call it successful. And I don't mind at all that the Eagles do it. And just a thought, and this dates back to even the offseason where the story started to come out about teams wanting to ban it and saying, oh, it's forbidden. You can't do that play. We can't stop. Here's my thought. If you don't like it, stop it. If you don't like what any opponent is doing in any sport, and the refs aren't stopping it, the rules committee aren't stopping it, and you're not stopping it, try to figure out a way to stop it. I like that they went like backdoor politics. I'll show you how we can stop this. We'll go all the way to the top. So, yeah. Now, to go back to Chris Sims' point, not how he illustrated it, but his point, that is what I'm concerned about. Like, here's what I don't get. People don't talk about this in the regular season. People only talk about this in the preseason. I'm not sending Jalen Hurts out there so some kid who's trying to make a roster goes out there and takes a cheap shot. Well, I don't think that's really a way to make a roster, to be honest with you. Cheap shot somebody else, I don't think that's really a way to do it. Laying a hit on somebody, that's the way to do it, certainly. But people don't talk about this. So during the regular season, I'm putting my quarterback head first across the line of scrimmage on a play where everyone knows what's about to happen. And I'm just going to be like, yep, good luck to you. Like I talk about it all the time about putting the precious pigskin in peril, protecting the football, right? Good ball security, all that stuff, being protective. I don't want to put Jalen's precious head in peril when I don't have to. Now, again, I'm saying you run the play, you run the play. I don't have a problem with running the play. But if there's certain situations, first and goal, like I said, from the half-yard line, give it to a running back. See if DeAndre Swift can get in there. Let's see how that happens. If there's another play, 2nd and 1, obviously, then I actually prefer the throw downfield because 2nd and 1, you're going to be able to get that first down. But if there's other instances where you don't have to use it, then don't use it. But if it's in the break glass scenario, if it's in the emergency scenario, then you run it. That's where I'm at on it, and I find it hilarious that so many people are crying about it. It is, oh man, I bask in it. I absolutely bask in it. Something else that Nick Sirianni got into yesterday. I loved hearing this. Actually, wait, before I go any further with that, this is Jalen Hurts on the brotherly shove and where he's at on it.
I don't think it's nothing too much. It's something I've done since I was in high school. Obviously, you got those big guys up front. That makes it a lot easier. Just getting that yard.
How important is timing in that play? Is that maybe like an valued part of it?
I'm not one to break it down as much as everybody else is. I'm the guy that's doing it. So just get the first down. It's as simple as that.
There's been arguments that the play ought to be banned. What do you think of that?
I have no thoughts on it. We're the only people that's doing it as well as we are, you know. The guy want to be hurt for it too. But.
Here at the end. At the end, he says, I heard a guy wants me hurt for it too. That was the reference to the Chris Sims deal. I've been running it since high school. He's been pretty good at it. The offensive line's pretty good at it. If it's working, he's just going to keep on doing it. I can't believe it's a story, to be honest with you. It's not it's not just that it's successful, it's that it's a story. It's that it's a national story. Because people are trying to ban it. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Yesterday, if you caught the show, I tried to explain it. It was one of the first things we had talked about. Yesterday during the show, I said that people were making too much of a big deal out of Kenny Gainwell in that long drive getting touches over DeAndre Swift. You're up 2 scores. I told you, if you're getting the football in the fourth quarter as a running back and you really haven't gotten it throughout the game, then that means you're not running back number 1. That means they're protecting running back number 1. And running back number 2, you really get your touches. Go get your touches. This guy's tired for being awesome. You go get your touches. So that people are looking at it like, oh, DeAndre Swift should be out there. No, he shouldn't. It's not a battle anymore. He is, without question, DeAndre Swift, the running back number 1 on this team. It's not a question. It's not a question. And wouldn't you know it, I tuned into the coach's press conference yesterday, and the very first question was about that running back fiasco, if you will, when it came to Kenny Gainwell getting touches on that, 9-minute drive they had in the fourth quarter. And here's the way Coach Sirianni broke it down.
Nick, I just want to ask you about Monday night's game. Swift had the hot hand, obviously, through 3 quarters. You switch away and go to Kenny in the fourth. What led to that decision? Why'd you do that?
Yeah, we felt like in that scenario right there, we were trying to pound it a little bit. We know Kenny's good at that, being able to do that, protecting the football. And DeAndre's done a good job of that as well. But in that particular case, we thought it was what was best for the team, and that's why we went that direction.
Maybe preserving DeAndre, over the course of
everything's in play. Everything's in play. And so again, he had played good up to that point, and we thought right in that scenario we wanted Kenny in for that particular series.
There you go. When he gets asked the question about preserving DeAndre. Everything. Because if you're the coach, you're not going to say, oh, we threw the guy that was expendable in there for the long drive. You're not going to say that. You're still going to need Kenny Gainwell at some point this season. DeAndre Swift's going to need a break. He's going to get tired. You're going to need another running back. That's not a secret. Now, I still like Kenny Gainwell, but if you have a running back room that is supposed to be by committee, and the committee really seems right now to be 2 people, so it's not even a committee anymore, it's a partnership. You ride the hot hand. And I'll say this until it's not true anymore, but DeAndre Swift had 1 carry week 1, and over the last 2 weeks, he's been the 2nd best rusher in the NFL behind Christian McCaffrey. And he looks insane. And his timing with his offensive line is perfect. It's picture perfect. You show this stuff at clinics, what this offensive line has been able to do for him. Man. I'm amazed by what I've seen from DeAndre Swift. It's not even a question anymore. He's RB1, and Kenny Gainwell mops up. That's not a terrible thing. Keep mopping up, fella. Have your fun. The other thing that I wanted to mention real quick, just some other things regarding the press conference yesterday. Talking about Kenny the throw the shove, balancing Jalen Carter. Yeah, Jalen Carter snaps with his production, how good it is. Red zone is a big talking point out of this press conference because the Eagles are like 25th after being second or third last year in the NFL. The Eagles are 25th in the NFL in red zone efficiency this year. That's not good. That's bad. That's very bad, especially when you got a tush push on your side. Brotherly shove. I'll sum up both Jalen Hurts' answers and Nick Sirianni. First, Nick Sirianni. Yeah, that's on me. I got to do a better job of putting players in a better position to have success. I swear that's what he said. Verbatim. All right. And then Jalen Hurts just talked about we got to put it in. We got to put it in the end zone. Okay. Both those things work. Put the players in a better position to put it in. And then we're all one big happy family. Nick Sirianni did talk about the fan advantage. Philadelphia, with so many Philadelphia Eagle fans being down there in Tampa for the game. Feels like a home game. The Eagles are the best fans in football. Everything you would expect the head coach to say. And everything we've talked about ad nauseum with you guys before. You guys know the impact you have on games. I always go back to 2017 and how many coaches had a game plan for Eagles fans coming into their stadium in Los Angeles, in New York, North Jersey, whatever. Eagles fans matter, man. Eagles fans matter. They are a factor. No question about that. And Coach got into that a little bit yesterday. Jalen Hurts' press conference, he said he feels better. I don't know if you guys heard it. He does not sound great still. Still a little nasally like me right now. Called Swift a big-time player. Says there's always intensity and respect when it comes to a division rivalry, but yes, they hope there's a little bit of a revenge factor. He didn't say it, but Commanders winning at the link last year. Eagles want their opportunity to exercise that demon. Swift being a big-time player. Starters. Starting against a defense that he knows. That'd be a good thing for him. He also credited Eagles fans for traveling. Talked about the red zone. I mentioned that. Long drive at the end of the game. He got into a little bit. They were just able to keep it going. You heard the cut about quarterback sneaks. He does support the Phillies. Bryce Harper supports the Eagles. Jalen Hurts supports the Phillies. I always love seeing that. And then there was this exchange that I saw somebody questioning this with Mike Sealski yesterday. But Sealski was trying to get to the bottom of the psyche of Jalen Hurts and seeing exactly what Jalen does, like the way he thinks. And the analogy that he brought up, or the point he brought up, was like a quarterback can go in there and throw for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns and his team lose. And people are like, well, the quarterback played well. But Jalen Hurts doesn't care about that. And Jalen Hurts was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that you just perfectly described. Yes, you are on point with your assessment. And then Mike dug a little deeper. He's like, okay, well, where does that come from? And he talked about his father. That Jalen Hurts talked about his father, about how his father instilled that in him, and how that's just the bar. That's the benchmark. That's how you play. If you don't play well, but the team wins, then it's good. But you still don't play to your standard, to go back to that. But it's still good. Doesn't care about it. I don't care about my own numbers. That's what Jalen Hurts is saying. It's not about me. Keep the main thing the main thing. And people, it's so true, because how often do we get distracted? I mean, I always refer to it on this show as I got Family Guy brain. I'm all over the place. I can't concentrate on a damn thing. I try my best for an hour. Sometimes it works. But even when you're trying to keep the main thing, the eye on the prize, winning a championship, winning that football game, wins. That's what matters above all. Keep the main thing. So if, I'm not saying it was anything legitimate or anything to cause concern over, but if certain receivers want more targets, that can't be the main thing. The main thing's got to be the win. I'm sure Jalen Hurts would love to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and have everyone say, oh, Jalen Hurts, best quarterback in the game, and he's pretty close to it already. We haven't really seen it that much this year, but this game against the Bucs was certainly a good step in the right direction. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts overall, the main thing's the main thing. Don't let those other distractions, those frustrations become distractions. And how do you do that? By focusing on what's become a cliche to this point, keeping the main thing the main thing. Before I go any further and off the Eagles, I do want to show you guys the injury report from yesterday. It was just a walkthrough, so I don't even like the fact that there is an injury report. But Sidney Brown with his hamstring did not participate. Justin Evans with his neck did not participate. Quez Watkins with his hamstring did not participate. Then limited Britton Covey, hamstring. Fletcher Cox with his knee. Zach Cunningham, ribs. Is this like an outbreak of bad ribs on this team? What is going on here? Cam Jurgens, groin, limited participant. Landon Dickerson, knee, was fine. He was full participant. And Boston Scott was a full participant. Yeah, so maybe that running back by committee is back. It's not just a partnership anymore. It's now back to being a committee. So we'll see how that goes. Here, I'm interested to see what happens with Rashad Penny again, because he could be inactive again. If Boston Scott's back, Rashad Penny could be inactive again, which is surprising. Before I get into the chat check, I'll talk to you beautiful people. Dame Lillard was traded yesterday. The Woj Bob came down, and Damian Lillard was traded from the Blazers to the Bucks, team up with Giannis, and basically Jrue Holiday goes to. There's also the Suns were involved as well. But Jrue Holiday goes to the Blazers. Now, apparently that's not exactly Jrue Holiday's wonderful idea. He was traded. Simple as that. However, he is still due for an extension. I think the way the rules, there's something about the rules, the trade's got to be very specific. But bottom line is, whatever the rules of the trade are with a guy who is still eligible for that extension, the 76ers are interested. I am all for it. If you do a deal that trades away James Harden and you're getting back anyone that can be helpful, I am all for it, 1,000% for it. I don't know if you can do a 3-team trade. I don't know if you can, but I did it yesterday on the old the machine, the trade machine. I don't really ever use the trade machine, but I just couldn't help myself. And yeah, it would work. You could pull it off. There's a deal to be made. I think it includes it definitely includes the Lakers. It includes James Harden going to the Lakers. Oh, geez, the Clippers. James Harden going to the Clippers. The Blazers get dumped on, as you would assume, with this salary cap. Probably throwing a pick. I don't know. And then Jrue Holiday comes back to Philadelphia. James Harden goes to the Clippers, and the Clippers send crap to the Blazers. All right, not crap, but salary dumps essentially. I'm all for Jrue Holiday coming back to Philadelphia. Stay with me here for a second, okay? Now, I'd rather have him than James Harden, just straight up, no doubt. A champion, a guy who's won. Yeah, I'll take that guy, please. Guy can shoot, guy can play defense. Yeah, I'll take it. Come on down, love it. A guy to help out, now 32 years old. A guy to help out Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, I'll take that. And the side story. The process began when Jrue Holiday was traded away from the 76ers. It was the first move Sam Hinkie made that said, we're not helping right now. We're helping much more into the future. We're not about now. We're about much, much later. They traded him away, and they got Nerlens Noel. Jrue Holiday goes to the Pelicans. Jrue Holiday, of course, goes to the Bucks and wins a championship. And now he gets traded to the Blazers. And apparently the Sixers are very interested in bringing in Jrue Holiday to Philadelphia. They are monitoring the situation and trying to come up with a trade that would work. Hell yeah. I believe the only way to offset the process and the damage it's done to this point is to reacquire Jrue Holiday, the first sacrificial lamb of the process, and bring him back to Philadelphia. It's a little thing I'm going to hashtag reverse the process. Put the good karma back into the world. Make what was wrong right. Bring him back. He's the only one that can save us. Now, with that being said, the Bucks are going to be pretty good this year. But what I absolutely love is the idea of Jrue Holiday being in here with Tyrese Maxey and obviously with Joel Embiid. I love how that looks. I love what Nick Nurse could do with that. And I refuse. I know I've been mentioning it. I've been talking about it a lot, but if it was just going to be Maxey and Embiid, and that was going to be the 1-2 punch, then maybe Maxey does take that Hertzian leap in his own year without James Harden, with him being the secondary scorer to Joel Embiid. Maybe he does become that incredible all-star player. Maybe that's what happens. Stop myself there for a second. Maybe it is what happens. But with Jrue Holiday being here, it definitely makes you more of a championship caliber team. It makes you a better team. And you don't know what's going to happen throughout the course of the year. So I refuse to say Dame is now in the East. He's joined the Bucks. He's joined Giannis. All bets are off. They're winning the championship or at least making it out of the East. Anything could happen throughout the course of a season. Anything could happen in the postseason. Be in the best possible position to take advantage of any opportunity that is presented to you. And I don't think the Sixers are doing that with just Maxey and just Embiid. I think they're doing it if they add a guy like Jrue Holiday into the mix. Look, the offseason acquisitions of guys like Patrick Beverley, yeah, I'm all for, man. Bringing him into the mix, I love it. That's a good move. Having the opportunity to go get a guy like Jrue Holiday, it's even better. Make that happen. Can shoot from the perimeter, shoot threes, play defense, like I said. He can attack the basket. The guy's a champion already. Have him bring that little championship juju here to Philadelphia. I think it's a great move. And reverse the process. All right. And the other thing that you got to keep in mind is the Bucks did this to help Giannis stay in Milwaukee. Sixers need to do something to show Joel Embiid that they're not just going to roll over. Because I think we all know how this ends if this season does not at all go well. I mean, bounce out in the first round, a second round exit again. If it doesn't go well, Joel Embiid is going to be looking elsewhere. No doubt about it. One last thing I'll say on basketball is that James Harden had a party, and at that party, you know, I'm not a club guy. I don't really go to the clubs. That might surprise you. But you know, you see the club people, they have the big signs all in like big signs, you know, lights and stuff at the club that like the nice ladies run around with, right? One of the signs that James Harden's party said, Daryl Morey is a liar. And I have to think of that. Even if you're Daryl Morey, you have to find that funny. That is hilarious. It's become a moniker. It's great. The other is something like, I'm not pulling out. All right, you do you, I guess. But yeah, that was just worth a footnote. Let me tell you guys about the incredible people at MyBookie. Go to mybookie.ag and take advantage of all they have to offer at mybookie.ag, presenting sponsor of the Farzy Show. All right, without further ado, let's jump into the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine morning. I'm going to start it over. I think some of you might have seen this last night. But real quick. So Brooks Robinson passed away. Greatest defensive third baseman ever. Yeah, you heard me. And Brooks Robinson was an MVP. He was a World Series MVP. He was a two-time World Series champion. He won 16 consecutive Gold Gloves. He was an 18-time All-Star. Just absolutely incredible. And a lot of you guys know this already, but my mom's family is from Baltimore. So I grew up with stories of Brooks Robinson. I mean, he was done playing before I was around. So I never saw him play, but I knew the legend of Brooks Robinson. So a couple of things. One is, I'll just keep this short. My uncle had a farm in Folsom, Maryland. My mom's uncle. So he was significantly older than me. And anyway, he had a bunch of stuff in this, like, it looked like an airplane hangar more than it did a barn. Okay. And he had a bunch of cool stuff. My cousins and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And I remember being 8 years old, running around in there and just seeing all this cool stuff. And I didn't see this. I never saw this in there. But I remember we were getting in the car, and my my Uncle Joey, who ran the farm, who, side note, had a red eye. He was shot in the eye with a BB gun when he was like 10 years old, and he always had a red eye. So, to us as little kids, my cousins and I, we were all like, this guy is 7 feet tall. Like, he probably was like 5'11", but he just seemed to have this imposing form about him and demeanor. And he always yelled. Every word he yelled. He never spoke softly. And he was just like, hey, Mark. And I'm like, yes, Uncle Joe. And he's like, you like baseball, right? And I'm like, yeah, I remember it vividly. I was just getting in the car to leave, and he said, you like baseball, right? And he picked up this mitt, and he did this a couple times. You know, he's like, here you go. This guy's an all-time great. They called him the human vacuum cleaner. And he handed me this mitt. And you can't see it, but in the inside, this wasn't Brooks Robinson's mitt, but on the inside, it says it's the insignia of Brooks Robinson. I took this and I played with it. It went in Little League. My dad and I, we oiled it up. We restrung it, and I still have it to this day. Family heirloom. And then I always say this about Baltimore. Baltimore looks at their sports figures as if they're extensions of the family. I think in Philadelphia, we look at our sports players as if they're representatives of our city and us. Like in Baltimore, like I remember thinking, like, I heard from people like, oh yeah, we're gonna have the Ripkins over for dinner. Like, it was like, oh, we want to invite the Ripkins. I don't know if the Ripkins ever came, but that was the way people thought. And sure enough, yesterday I'm on the phone with my mom, and I'm talking to her, and she's from Baltimore. She grew up there. And I said, hey, sorry about Brooks and all that stuff. And she goes, did I ever tell you about when Brooks Robinson came over for breakfast? I said, what the hell? No, I guess you left that one out, Mom. And she goes, yeah, because my grandfather was an usher for the Baltimore Orioles for 25 years in Memorial Stadium and Camden Yards. And when I went to Camden, when I was a kid and I'd be visiting Baltimore, we lived down there for 1 year. We were going to Oriole games all the time. And I can tell you a million stories about going down there. And my grandfather's section was right behind home plate. But anyway, he got to know the players a lot. And he got to know Brooks. And my grandfather was very active in the community. And he asked Brooks Robinson to come out and speak at an event. And after the event, it was a church event. And after the event, my grandfather says to Brooks Robinson, hey, we want to come over to the house for dinner? We live right down the street. And Brooks Robinson's like, yeah, I'll go over to the house. Or for breakfast. You want to go over to the house for breakfast? He's like, yeah, I'll go over to the house for breakfast. And my mom says, she's sitting on the sofa, and the door opened, and Brooks Robinson comes walking in. And she's like, what the? And my mom's a huge baseball fan. And my grandfather's like, oh, hey, Eleanor, meet Brooks. It's like, And then Brooks Robinson sat at my grandmother's table and had eggs. It's the craziest thing. It's like, it's just wild. What a different time. This had to be right around the time he was winning MVP, winning World Series MVP, and winning MVP of the regular season as well. It was 1964. 1964 was the MVP. So I tell you all that to tell you this. Rest in peace, Brooks Robinson. Thanks for being an all-time great. And thanks for being a phenomenal member of that community in Baltimore and a phenomenal member of the baseball community. I saw George Brett put out a picture. He says, the annual picture of me and Brooks at the hotel they stay at in Cooperstown for the Hall of Fame. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Now let's get to the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine morning. All right, I'm going to start it over on the Farzy Show page. John Cheeseborough, what's going on? Everyone's getting along. Everyone's having fun. And let's start at the top. There we go. John Cheeseborough, good morning. Farzy inside. Good morning to you. IBH, what's going on? April! Even the hangover lineup was great. Great way to fight back, even at the Pirate. It reminded me of Beer Fest. I'm better when I'm drunk. Barry Bethenary. Who's Barry Bethenary? John Cheeseborough, April. Sean Gillespie, what's going on? Hello. Yes, John Cheeseborough, thank you. Speaking of Dame, notice how Jimmy's mad that the Heat were supposed to get him, but now he thinks there's some tampering. So Jimmy Butler went on Instagram, and I love that he ended it with, you didn't hear it from me. I just watched your Instagram. He said, NBA, check out the Bucks books. Interesting there. Sean Kilrain, what's going on? I did find it funny that Dame Lillard really wanted to go to Miami. Now he's in Milwaukee. Have you been to Milwaukee? I've been to Milwaukee. There are no palm trees. I will tell you this one quick story. I was at a bar once in Miami. I was at a bar once in Miami, but anyway, Milwaukee. And like, it's not what I would call an attractive city. And I just remember I was sitting there and there's all these like Viking descendants standing around me, and it's like, wow, these people are huge, right? And then just in walked this like, it was like a scene out of a movie. This just like beautiful lady walked in. I was like, what are you? I didn't talk to her. I was too afraid. No, I was just like, what the? Where'd she come from? Anyway, and then I went to the Pabst Blue Ribbon area. Anyway, that was a thing. That was beautiful. I know I kept forgetting to ask PJ, how do you hate watch Hard Knocks? Wait, who's it downgrade? What am I missing here? The only Swift I care about is DeAndre. Mally, what's up, Mally? Wait, who's the definite downgrade from his last relationship? I can only imagine. Are we talking about? Are we talking about Taylor Swift and what's the name? Because I don't even. Other teams can't do brotherly shove. Okay, I'm for that. I don't see anything in that. What the hell? Oh. Now, Mark, did you hear the trash from Chris Sims? Yes, I did. Chris Sims has always been a hater. He is a hater. Sims is outside of his skull. John Cheeseborough, I agree. An ex-quarterback saying that, right? John Cheeseborough, it's not a football play. If it doesn't look good, what about the kneel down? Why is it the spike intentional grounding? Since by definition, the quarterback is still in the pocket, not throwing at a wide receiver. See that? I agree. Those are all great points. And not getting the ball back? The line of scrimmage? Yeah. Player's going to play, hater's going to hate. You damn right. Aggressively try to strip the ball and kill the quarterback, says Sean Gillespie. They're mad, plain and simple. They hate us because they ain't us, Farzy, says Sean Kilrain. I agree. Mark, the neckline is looking fierce today. Thank you, Mally. That is plunging. I'm getting a look at it now. That is a little, it's a family show. It's a family program. By the way, I am going to be Garrett Stubbs for Halloween. I have decided I'm going to be Garrett Stubbs for Halloween. That is my decision. Fuji, what's going on, Fuji? Nice to see you. Hello. IBH, what's going on? Bottle service. You're damn right. April is shooting your eye out. Milwaukee. Thank you, Mike Fuji. Sims is an ex-wannabe quarterback. That's funny. Hop over to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. What's going on? Okay, yeah, here we go. Neil Watson, what's going on, Neil? We prefer brotherly shove. Absolutely, Tush. Okay, Farzy, getting ready. Farzy, thoughts on Ryan Kirkering? Thoughts are hell yeah. Can't wait to see him pitch in the postseason. No one wants the final wild card spot. They all lose. Emily Rodriguez, the Phillies won. Or are you saying they will lose against the Phillies? I think, yeah, I agree with you. As of right now, since the Phillies clinched, I haven't been showing you guys the final wild card standings. I haven't been throwing that up there on the old screen. But as of right now, looking at the final wild card standings going into the final 4 games of the season, at least for the Phillies. Phillies are now 7 games up in that wild card spot. I said 6 earlier. The Diamondbacks are number 2, and the Marlins and the Cubs are tied for the 3rd and final wild card spot. The Reds are 2.5 games out. The Padres are all but eliminated, but that's where we're at right now. Marlins and Cubs. I'll take either. In that first round. The Cubs have really, they've only won 4 of their last 10 games. The Marlins are 6-4 in their last 10. They've been certainly having their second half struggles. I'll take either. Come to South Philly, man. Come to South Philly. What else do we have here in the JAKIB Media chat? Oh, Mr. President. Hello. Mark, did you watch any of the GOP debate? And your favorite Cowboy fan, Chris Christie? No, I didn't. I didn't watch a lick of it. I will watch the presidential debate, I guess, like most people. The Republican or Democratic debate or anything like that. I hate politics so much. It's just so infuriating. And I really try to keep politics out of what I talk about. It really has to be something egregious for me to get to talk about politics. But Mr. President, thank you for chiming in. Stott needs like 2 games of rest. John R., that's fine. I'll take it. Farzy can't bench the bar. Farzy, let me know if you ever need a spot when you get the bar back from your storage unit. Thank you, Farzy. Farzy can't bench the bar. I will. What time do you go to bed, wake up, do a live stream this early? I go to bed, generally speaking, after the Phillies games, because I do the Phillies postgame, Fighting's postgame here on JAKIB Media. I've always hated sleep. I have not been a fan of sleep. I grew up watching David Letterman. Then I'd watch Conan O'Brien. And then I'd watch at least the beginning of the rerun of Jay Leno. That was pretty much my whole high school career. And now I pretty much do the same thing. I don't watch those shows anymore. I'm generally speaking, I'm watching a press conference or something like that. So it's not as fun and exciting. But yeah, to me, if you get more than 5 hours of sleep, you're just showing off, man. If I get 5 hours, I'm pretty good. And then I also love espresso. That's a mocha pot, technically, but whatever. What about them Phillies? How about them Phillies, Lord Vader? I agree. Swinging. I'll just call you Swinging. That's what I'm going to call you. Cal Ripken's cousin was my high school principal. No way. That if you do go to Baltimore and you talk to somebody in like Cal's age range, they all have a Cal story. Everyone's got a Cal story. Everyone's got a Cal Ripken story. If you guys ever wanted to see me go full Chris Farley, like full like Chris Farley show, if you ever see the sketch, the Chris Farley show of when he asked, he's interviewing Paul McCartney, and he's like, "Do you remember when you were with the Beatles?" That's one of the greatest sketches ever. Yeah, yes, Chris, I remember. You know, and he's like, "That was awesome." You know, I would be like that with Chris Farley. Or excuse me, I would that. Yeah, I would. But I'd be like that with Cal Ripken. There's not many people that would make me just go full on stupid, like completely stupid, not just playful stupid, but like real stupid. And that's Cal Ripken. I got to get him on the show. But yeah, I would love to get Cal Ripken on the show. But everyone has a story like, oh, I played with Cal in Little League or whatever. Sherry's praise list. What's up, Sherry? I wonder if anyone ever said about Brady what they say about Hurts regarding the sneak. I concur. No, Farzy was probably referring to the Barstool guy about wanting him hurt. It wasn't the Barstool guy. Oh, you're saying Jalen Hurts said a guy wanted him hurt. Oh, I understand what you're saying. Maybe, but it sounds like what's his name is also up for grabs there in Chris Sims. Lord Vader, people call it a rugby scrum, but apparently no one knows what the scrum actually looks like in rugby. Lord Vader, excellent point. I've done my share of rugby tournaments, not playing in them, covering them. Quite different. Only sevens, though, so not like, traditional rugby. But anyway, thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. In case you didn't see it, the last thing I'm going to get into. Spencer Strider did an interview. And I think it was Jam Boy to put this out there. Spencer Strider did an interview, and he was asked, like, what's something you'd like to see changed? And he said, no fans. He was asked for a piping hot take. What's your hot take? And he was like, no fans. They're too loud. First off, in general, what a dick. Second, you know you're going to come back to Philly, right? Oh, man. If you thought we were bad before, bruh, now that we know you hear us, like, do you understand what we've done to pitchers? Just ask CC Sabathia. Anyway, now that we know we can get in your head, we gonna get in your head. And the only thing I want Rhys Hoskins to do, or expect Rhys Hoskins to do, when the playoffs do start. I don't expect him to play. And Rob Thompson said yesterday they're keeping that idea open for as long as humanly possible. The one thing that I would absolutely love to see is just Rhys Hoskins just constantly stare down Spencer Strider. But remember me? Remember me? Getting his head a little bit more. Maybe he goes in the stands as well. Maybe he joins the fans because apparently Spencer Strider just can't block him out. But yeah, last thing there is that Rob Thompson yesterday said they are holding out hope for Rhys Hoskins. I'd be shocked if he actually gotten it bad. I don't know what his role would be. I don't know if he's going to play for. I doubt he'd play first base, but a pinch hitter off the bench. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. This has been the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie. Make sure you check out all things MyBookie has to offer at mybookie.ag. Jim Hyder produced the program, did a wonderful job as per usual. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. I'll be back with you guys tonight. Fighting's post-game show right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Farzy Show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to JAKIB Media as well. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Be back with you guys tonight, hopefully talking about another Phillies sweep. Why not? And their 90th win of the season and Alec Boehm's 20th home run of the year. Let's just keep the good times coming. Talk to you guys tonight and tomorrow. Bye.